What is up, everybody? Welcome to the ESFI World MLG Providence Day 1 recap. It is currently, well, I'm in the West Coast. As you can see, I'm in Oakland, California. It is 11:23 here on the West Coast. And so for you guys, it is getting really late. I'm Derek Staley with ESFI World. As I said, I couldn't make it to the event, but joining me are two of our counterparts here at ESFI, Jack McGill and Eric Chance, who are live in Providence. As you can see, they are struggling with the internet a little bit. The internet's not that great, so not the best quality, but we're going to be able to get them here, and they're going to be able to give us their thoughts. So how are you guys doing so far over there at the in Providence?
I'm doing fine. Oh my God. I'm doing fine. It's been a long day.
Jack?
Yeah, about the same. Woke up pretty early. I don't know. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen that the airport lost my luggage. So I'm early to go pick up before we could really do anything today. So
Were you able to?
Started early, ending late.
Did you get your luggage back, or are you still?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. So let's just jump right into the event. So obviously the event's a little different setup than the other events, MLG. You guys have both been to events this year so far. Eric, I don't think you've been to an MLG. You were just at IPL, right?
No, this is my first MLG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, you've been to, I think you were at Anaheim.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how it's different. I guess, Jack, you can answer this probably a little better. Day one, you don't have the pool play, so there aren't quite as many big matchups. Is it a little bit different kind of in a day one setup? Or?
Yeah, it felt really awkward actually on the floor. Like, there's always something to watch big because you have the pool play format in the regular season. So regardless of what time of day it was, there was always two big names playing something really exciting. And I found that it was kind of like as soon as the Global Invitational was over, this stands were basically cleared because everyone knew that nothing was coming up. And they did put matches on the main stage, but it wasn't like big games that everyone liked. It was just kind of like still matches. So that was a little bit weird, and it seems kind of more relaxed and less maybe hype than it was before. Like there's no, like big two players who are like playing this match. You don't have like Huck versus Idra. You just kind of have like Idra versus so-and-so, but not Idra, obviously, because they don't start tomorrow. It's like just open bracket player who is good versus open bracket player who is not good. And there were really no big names meeting in the first 3-4 rounds of the bracket, so just kind of struggling to find matches. Like even it ended decently early on the main stage as well. So.
Yeah, I feel that I like the whole idea that they did the Global Invitational. I guess it was like the semifinal, the quarterfinal, or finals, or it was, and but just to like kind of fill in time because they were also doing the open bracket to get through the round where you had the more uneven matchup. Really good on their part, and it kind of filled in that airtime. I think they were given a certain amount of time. So because they took so long, they weren't able to air the third and fourth place match. This is from what I figured out or could understand of the whole situation. But yeah, like Jack was saying, like it was kind of weird when you go from like these high level players to seeing Litter beat this blonde chick on stage, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean those are a lot of games that weird. You normally don't see streamed, and we'll actually get into a little bit of that in a little bit here, because there were some notable games that were played on the on the main stage that we normally wouldn't have saw. But before that, let's just get into some more about the event. So you guys have been around, for a day, talking to the players, talking to the fans. Have you got a different vibe from them, and do you think they feel like it's a different setup? You have the bigger prize pool with the national championships. Does it feel different from the fan perspective and the player perspective, do you think?
I was doing stuff on the floor most of the day, like shooting interviews with players like Hey Pro, guys like Hotbed, Machines, some of those guys. And yeah, everyone's really excited that this is the national finals. We got to actually meet the COO of Quantic Gaming in IM. I have his name somewhere. Brian Guzman.
Right.
Sorry. In my notes. And he definitely said like this is like probably the best event to bring out all the IM guys that brought out, like Nesty.
Yeah, they brought the house. They got everybody here.
Yeah, I think they brought like I don't know the full roster of IM off the top of my head, but I guarantee that's probably about half their actual roster. And they're all really good players. So this is probably the best event to bring out some big names, and it definitely shows. There's I think 20 some odd Koreans in this tournament, and out of the top 16, there's 8 Koreans, and I think that's saying a lot. I just like the whole layout. And yeah, a lot of fans are like saying this is a big event, and this is just not just the StarCraft 2 fans. I was talking to some of the Halo players. There was a couple of Gears of War guys I knew, and yeah, everyone's like really excited in all aspects of the esports scene that MLG has.
I think the biggest thing is that this is really the last big event for StarCraft 2 year. Like, we do have DreamHack next week and then the NSL finals the following week, but unless you play through 8 weeks of competition and qualified for the NASL finals, or if you're flying to Sweden next week, like, this is really the last event for the year for a lot of players. Like Eric was saying, we sat down with Sheen earlier, like, this is like the last event of the year for the next 2 months until IPL 4 is scheduled to be in February, March-ish. Like, you kind of have 2 months of training. Like, this is kind of like your last hurrah before the end of the year. So not only are the prize pools kind of much more significant, it's like this is it for 2011 for the majority of players. I'm sure like the majority of Korean players are going to DreamHack, obviously not going to NASL. I know, oh, sorry, headphones. GSL does slow down a little bit too over Christmas, so I think it does feel like this is the end. It's, the end of 6 events, and it kind of has that vibe of, reflection and that added weight of it being the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Once we get through DreamHack and I guess the NASL's right around there too, we're kind of entering into a little bit of the StarCraft off season. We don't really have an off season, but there is a little bit of a gap here where the major tournaments are going to kind of slow down for a little bit. So this is kind of the last chance for a lot of these players to make a good impression for a little bit of time here, and kind of go off on a good note as they head into doing some training before they get into the next year here. So real quick, I just do want to mention about the streams. The streams look good so far. I've been running all 4 streams, the beta streams as well. Great job by the beta casters. All those guys doing a great job. The HQ looks good. Didn't really have any lag. It doesn't look quite as good as the IPL 3 streams did. The IPL 3 streams are probably the best streams I've ever seen, but that's no knock on MLG. The MLG streams do look really, really good. So big ups to MLG for that. Twitch TV, those guys all making it look real good. So everything looks good there. So let's talk a little about the global.
Actually, I just want to go on the stream. I was talking to my brother who just like started watching Pro StarCraft for the U.S. or because he watched Korean StarCraft for a while, but he was saying that he really liked the quad stream setup that MLG does. And it's actually like I think he was saying like it improved some. I wasn't able to check it out, but he like really likes its setup. And MLG's like whole idea of doing like a quad screen is like that. Even that MLG related, that was like a really good idea. I think they should keep doing that and possibly just make it free for everyone.
Yeah, I mean it's
just run more ads.
It's definitely a good thing.
Do you have time?
Go ahead, Jack.
Do you have time to ask you a question as well after?
What was that?
I said, do you have time for me to ask you a question as well after?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I do want to mention though that I think the 4 stream is going to be going to be a standard with some of these these tournaments, because we're going to get into this sort of arms race thing. IPL had the 2 streams and they had the first person views too. So they had the IGN Prime streams with the behind the scenes stuff. So it's only better for the spectators at home. We're going to get more and more content, more and more streams. So the streams are awesome. So let's get into the Global Invitational a little bit. If that's
wait.
Oh, you asked a question now. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is probably one of the first events in a long time that you've stayed home.
Yeah.
So what are your reactions as kind of a first-time stream viewer?
The last one I watched at home was Anaheim. I haven't really got a chance to watch enough to really make a good opinion on it, because I'm on the West Coast and I was at work and I didn't get home till about 6:37. So by the time I got here, it was already 9:30, 10 on the East Coast, and I didn't really get to watch a ton of games. It's definitely different. I'd rather be at the event. Almost, you can keep track of things sometimes better at home, but you miss the atmosphere. You miss the people. The people's the big thing. You miss the people. You miss talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be at the event. But I mean, the stream does have its advantages. You get to catch up on a lot more things. You can watch more games but at the same time, when you're at the event, you can watch some of the games that you would never see. So a lot of the times there are just random open bracket games that are amazing. You can just go stand right behind the players, get their first-person point of views, and all that good stuff. So I do love watching first-person point of view StarCraft. So especially the featured stations where they just have their first-person point of views on TVs kind of above the players. I do love watching that at MLG events, because to me, FPPOV is something that we really need more of in SE2 because there's a lot of it in Brood War, and we haven't really had a ton of it in StarCraft 2. IPL tried to do it, but they didn't get true first-person view. So there's pluses and minuses. So
I think there should be a way to do the first-person view. The one problem I think I saw off the stream is they're doing the siege tank mode camp, and I think that's the silliest thing. But there are like other setup of we're going to put it in the corner and make it look like this is like paranormal activity. Again, it just didn't work. I think really if they want to, again, we're talking about the arms race between kind of like MLG, IPL, or like the top two North American circuits, I guess. Yeah, NHL is kind of up there with their money and income, but I think that the production value between MLG and IPL blows everyone else out of the water, but not by a whole lot. I think there's definitely like areas they can improve. I think MLG should do what IPL did, hire a video crew, and basically they just have them kind of IPL. I think they were blocking some of these from the stands, but they're actually getting really good shots of players in the booths, of their hands, of the players' like facial expressions. I think that was like an added feature and an added benefit to what IPL is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot that I think both tournaments can learn from the other one. So it should be interesting next year. We'll get more to that. But we do need to move on here. So let's get into the Global Invitational. I actually didn't get to watch these games. I've heard amazing things. So this is the first thing I'm going to do when I wake up tomorrow or after this call. I was still at work when this was taking place, unfortunately. So we had Idra versus Nesty, and then we had the two Naniwa series against Nesty and MVP. What can you guys tell me about these three series?
I caught the Idra Nesty. It was pretty good ZVZ, in my opinion. Nesty's having this kind of weird, I guess, situation he's in right now, because, I mean, he just dropped a Code A, and he also lost to, like, Bong Bong and the Team Arena, or whatever, the Arena of Legends in ComTV. And Bong Bong's a Code B plus, that was the easy matchup, and it kind of blew my mind that, you know, the guy we call the King of Zerg lost to a Code B guy in Zerg in that match. It was a good series in my opinion. I kind of felt Idra really should have won it, but I think MVP Nesty sort of lucked out. But again, I only caught parts of it. I was filming and editing. And the Nesty series, I only caught the tail end of, and all I saw really was the facial expression of Naniwa after he wins. He's just like, not bad. And there was a really good photo. It's actually on Reddit. One of the guys in the press room took the photo, and he was like so happy he got on front page Reddit. Props to him. He took a really good photo. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch all the matches because I was just busy filming and editing.
Yeah, I know that is. It's actually, I think people don't realize that a lot of times when you're actually covering the event. People don't realize that a lot of times it's hard to cover all the games because you're trying to do so many other things that you actually do miss a lot of the games. So it is it's tough. Did you see the MVP series at all or no?
I was probably still video shooting and editing.
I saw Idra versus Nesty and then Naniwa versus MVP. Or no, I saw Naniwa versus Nesty. I just really like. I think the nice thing about this format is that it was like kind of a mini tournament. Like I didn't watch the Global Invitationals. I stayed on top of them through what I saw on Reddit and what MLG posted. I read a lot of MLG content, but I didn't watch the tournament at all. But you have MLG, Providence. You have 4 of the top best players in the world, really coming to this event and having kind of a mini tournament, so it's like even if you miss kind of everything that went on before, you have this like cute little tournament of 4 players who haven't had to deal with 3 days of matches, who are coming kind of fresh, who are ready to play, like just this nice little format. It's kind of like what NFL wants to do, where they kind of are like, we have this one thing for the weekend and we showcase all the matches and you do everything as like kind of that, but more simplified. So all the quality of the games are really amazing. Like the 2 matches in the first series versus Nesty and Idra, like basically the last 2 matches really only came down to position and where Nesty was on the map. Like especially the third game, it was just like supplies were so even the whole time. Micros or drone count was so even the whole time. It was just like such a massive game that in the end it really just boiled down to the concave on the roaches and the hydras and a slight difference in unit mix with infestors. So it wasn't really even like they were close, and that's what makes it a tight game. Just you saw some really kind of crazy, like the one strategy in the last game, I believe it was on Telegram for Naniwa versus Nesty, was like absolutely ridiculous. Like Nesty went to drone rush, and then Naniwa saw and put cannons in his base, and then Nesty changed his mind and sent his drones back, and then brought out Lings. Like it was just like kind of one of those crazy games that you really only see at like really high level players in this kind of environment. So I'd say it was a good idea. Definitely needed something to fill that time. So props to MLG for it, and just the games were exceptional. I really want to see what happens between 91 and MVP. Like I kind of was watching out of the corner of my eye while I was writing, but didn't really see a whole lot.
So we were kind of interested in that, but we'll all three of us sound like we have some catching up doing those games.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about the whole aspect of it was, at least the story behind it, was anyway, who just dropped out of Code A and like made this statement of like, I'm never going to lose again. Comes in, beats arguably the two best players in the world in MVP and ST to take the title.
I don't know if you've seen Reddit.
He was just in dominating fashion. I was just like, that man just won me over. I am in love with them.
I'm pretty sure two of the top posts on Reddit, and I don't mean our StarCraft, I mean on the front page of Reddit. So if you go to like the all queue, are actually about those games. So I mean, right now, it's pretty hyped up right now. I mean, it's impressive to go through those two guys in one tournament. So
for lack of a better word, those are some pretty badass games by Nanny.
Yeah, good on him. Like it was impressive play, especially coming out of dropping to Code B again for the third time.
Right. I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but then you come back like that, it's not too bad. So let's move on to some of these games. Some of the lesser-known players, a lot of the Diamond players playing against some of these real top-level pros. There were a couple of note. I wanted to give a shout-out to, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, I think it's Nikaros, against Puzzle. It was a PvP.
Yeah.
Game 1, he lost pretty quick in a 4-gate by Puzzle, but in Game 2, he did this real strange delayed 4-gate timing, and actually seemed like he caught Puzzle off guard a little bit. And for a minute, it looked like he was going to win the game. The casters, I think it was Bitter and I think it was Bitter and JP or Bitter and we, I forget who was doing the game. We're just going crazy, and then Puzzle actually split his army up a little bit and came in and just wrecked the back of his base and won the game. But for a minute there, it looked like he actually caught Puzzle off guard and was going to win a game. And if word on the street on Reddit is right, the rumor is that he was drunk during the game. So if that's true, props, my man. That's pretty awesome.
That's a true gamer in my opinion.
That's pretty awesome. I guess if you're going to play Puzzle, you might as well.
One game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you can beat a Korean in any series, at least one game in a series, while drunk, you deserve an award.
That's a hell of a
You deserve
story.
one of those MLG national championship trophies, like those big ass ones. Like just get it.
Yeah, it's a hell of a story to tell your friends for sure. So moving on, we also had Julia Childress. I don't actually know her gamer tag. Do either of you guys know it?
It's Julia backwards. I don't know how to pronounce it. I have a weird last name, so it's hard to pronounce things like that, and I find that a very difficult gamer tag to pronounce.
Yeah.
I think it's like Ayulaj or
right. She is a pretty well-known streamer from Czech 6, I believe, and she actually played on stage. I don't remember who she played. Do you guys know? I couldn't even watch the game. I was still
She plays Losira.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's pretty tough.
When they were getting set up, everyone. My first thought was, oh look, it's an LG staffer like setting up because I didn't see her Czech 6 shirt, and I was like, cool. And then and we got Lucira versus the first girl on the main stage. I'm like, and now I look like a chauvinist pig.
So, Jack, I want to ask you about this specifically because I know you have a lot of thoughts on women in esports. So, what do you kind of think about this situation?
I don't know. Like, it's hard because there weren't matches being played that were quality. Like, I don't want to say, like, there weren't quality matches being played, but it's like you don't have those big names, and that's what MLG counts on for their kind of, like, hype quality factor. So it's like they don't have anyone who's, like, you know, it's not like Losira versus Nesty in winners round 2, it's like, well, Lucira versus, oh, look, there's a girl. Like, this is new, this is exciting, this is fresh, so we'll put her on stream. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like they didn't, I feel like it's like they didn't have anything else. Like, okay, say, like, Eric was playing and against Lucira. Like, okay, some dude's getting pwned by Lucira. Like, that's what it'd be. So it's like, well, if you add the fact that it's, like, some chick getting pwned by Lucira, all of a sudden, like, you kind of have that draw, and that's what people were watching.
Right, you create the storyline.
So, and in terms of, like, player, it's like, well, like, why not her? It'd be, like, her or some other guy. Like, it's just, like, it's just kind of gimmicky, I guess. I mean, good on her. Like, any player, really, like, you got to go on the main stage, that's cool, but I don't really think it's, like, I'm pretty, like, neutral about a lot of things when it comes to field gaming. Like, I don't know, like, her or some other player getting pwned by some good player. Like, that's what it would be. So, I mean, smart on MLG, gets more attention, gets more hype. Great for Check 6. I don't think she's actually on the roster yet, but I've heard, I think it was from you, actually, that she will be getting signed.
I heard through the, like, word of mouth of people in the press room that it was, I think she's, like, this is a trial run for her or something like that. Like, she's only represented by she's only a Check 6 gamer for this event. I could be completely wrong, and I probably am.
Like, more coverage, like when last time they had, first time even, they've had a player on the main stage.
Yeah.
So.
My whole thoughts on the whole thing was, I mean, obviously I openly admitted I didn't realize she was a pro gamer. But I think having your first female on stage for the big finals was a good idea on MLG's part. Like, it was a noble effort and a noble attempt. I think having your first female player play against, on the main stage, play against, I mean, he's not like a top level Korean, but he made it to the Code final, and he lost to NST, obviously, but Lucira is not like a slouch. Like, he's actually a very good player. I think having your first female pro player on the stage, against a guy like Lucira or a top-level player from Korea is a bit of a mistake. I think having her face someone of not that high of a tier or high of a caliber would have been better. I'm not going to name names, but I was in the press room. I was mentioning some people that I felt that probably would have been more of a competitive matchup because it just kind of looked like, hey, here's a pro gamer, and let's watch her get, pwned. And, oh, yeah, by the way, guys who are girls, you can really do this. And it's like, this isn't really, to me, it wasn't really promoting female in esports. It's kind of like, we're going to beat down the girls and prove that the guys are better.
Well, I think it just kind of depends on where you're coming from. Like, she's a rank 55 master. So if you put, like, any mid-tier masters against Lucira, he's probably going to get pwned. But the fact is, like, they pick her to go on the main stage just because she's a female. But, like, good on her. I mean,
yeah.
You got to admit, like, good on her. Like, I'm not a pro gamer. I'm not a competitive gamer whatsoever.
The fact that she's Masters and I'm still in Bronze League is more important. I got to give her props for that.
We do need
so
to move on. I don't know if I necessarily agree that throwing away Lucira is a bad thing. Plus, you can't really change the brackets.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's kind of weird.
I normally I'd be a little bit reluctant about just throwing a girl on stage just for the principle of having a girl on stage. But given the circumstances that MLG had, where there weren't really any big games being played, I think it was a smart decision. And I think in the long run, it's going to be a good thing for gaming and good for StarCraft. So let's move on to some of the big matchups that happened today. There weren't a ton early on, but we did have some. We had Puzzle versus Hero. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was a pretty cool matchup. Game one.
I saw the end of game one.
I honestly didn't see any series. Like, I saw nothing after the Global Invitational.
Just real quick in that series, game one, Hero went for an expand while Puzzle went for a quick one-base Colossus timing. It was a pretty good game, but Puzzle took that. Game two was crazy. You need to watch Game 2 versus Puzzle versus Hero if you haven't seen it. Hero tried to cannon rush, and he failed. And then somehow he still came back and took a lead with a ton of Immortals against Blink Stalkers. It was nuts. You got to see it. Hero won that game. And then in Game 3, they both kind of went for this similar 1-gate Robo build into a 4-gate Robo. And Hero just did it a little faster and did a Warp Prism drop in Puzzle's Base with the 4-gate and just ended that really quick. So it was a really cool series, especially Game 2. Game 2 was nuts. You got to catch that one. Machine vs. Destiny, I caught the end of that after Puzzle and Hero ended.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I saw that earlier.
Machine
I was
had,
actually...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
Machine just had a ton of ultras at the end of that game against the Infestors and Roach Hydra Destiny. It was a pretty cool series. Didn't really get to the Game 3, obviously, but a good series to watch if you do like ZVZ. They kind of go later than just the early game shenanigans that you see a lot of times in that matchup.
I showed up to that game like right at the end of Game 2. I got to see like you said, Machine vs. Destiny. I feel that those two players are a very good matchup for one another. I kind of get this vibe off them that if you put them in this 10-game series, it's going to be very close each game. No personal opinion.
I would say
Machines. But I feel Destiny
by a good bit, but
you and I were talking about this earlier. Kind of feel like Destiny's still in this transitional phase. He just got picked up by Quantic. That his training's not top. I think once Destiny's training gets back up to where it should always have been, and he meets Machine again in an open practice series and a lot better matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Machine definitely deserved that win. I mean, 2-0 against a guy like Destiny, it's still reputable or nice. And yeah, like I got to give props to Machine. Machine just did a really good job.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Destiny obviously hasn't been training quite as much as he will be now that he's joined Quantic. So should be interesting to see what he can do next year once he kind of gets that training in.
Yeah, he fell into the plague that is Skyrim. Like that game sucks the soul out of your body, and yeah, if you watch the stream, like you know what I was talking about. He's been playing Skyrim a lot.
So there was also Jinro vs. Hero. I believe it was game 1 of that where Hero went for quick Void Rays and just crazy micro with his Void Rays. Did a ton of damage, ton of contain. Then he went into the Charge Lock Colossi, High Templar Archon build that you'll see a lot of Protoss get if they can get to late game against Terran, and just rip Jinro up. I think he won that series 2-0. There were some other big games that I wasn't able to watch all of them because we were kind of getting ready to do this for the first time. So bear with us while we kind of do this for the first time, look a couple tech problems and things like that.
I think I was at the hotel. I was at the hotel during the game. We were experimenting with this, and literally we could not afford using a computer to watch MLG because it would crash our network.
You guys are hotel. Internet at MLG is a consistent problem that we've had. The biggest upset of the tournament, so Gatord knocked Gonzi into the lower bracket. If you remember, Gatord at IEM New York took out Dongargu and Top, finished 4th in that tournament. So really impressive by him in the last couple months here. So maybe somebody to look out for next year as far as if you're looking for a rising star.
He's on. What is he on?
He's on Ghost.
He's on Ghost Gaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's Ghost, yeah.
I think he could be a dark horse in any tournament, especially with his playing. His results recently, I think, definitely show he definitely takes his training seriously, and he definitely takes the tournament seriously. And he's not someone to be scoffed at, just not a huge name.
I think he actually is in the NASL semi-open this week, so maybe he'll be qualifying for the NASL next season. So definitely want to look up for if he can keep going to keep showing results. It could possibly be something versus Korean Terrans, certain play style, like Strong said it himself, they play one Korean, play them all. I'm not sure if that's necessarily true at all, not really, but it could just be his training on the Korean server, just trying to give him a leg up against these certain players, and it could just be stroke of luck, or it really could be mad skill, but it's kind of too unknown to really peg it either or at this point until we kind of see more results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely somebody to keep track of, see how he does the rest of this tournament as well as heading into next year. So let's talk about tomorrow a little bit. So heading into, I think we're in Open Winners round 4 or round 5. I'm not really sure what round we're in.
I think
we're going 5.
Yeah, we're heading into round 5.
I know MVP Smash is, I think,
these
would be round 4.
These are all round 5.
He's round 4.
These are all round 5.
Yeah.
So next we're going to have State versus Heaven on Earth, Leenock against Gatord, Machine against Nesty, Spanishiwa and TLO, MVP and Shu, SC Lacira, Hero versus Keen, and Major against Chef. So any of those stick out for you guys? Anything you're really looking forward to more than the other ones? Obviously, there's a lot of great games mixed in there, but Any really stick out you're gonna be trying to keep track of?
I'm going to be completely biased and say there's two matchups I'm really looking forward to. Machine ST I think is going to be a good matchup. I like Machine. I got to meet him today and talk to him, and he's a really nice shout out to him. I think you're going up against a guy like ST, and it's definitely it's a bit of a scary situation to be in. But I think Machine has enough skill in him that if he plays well enough and exploits the mistakes ST's been making lately, that other guys have been exploiting, he could possibly win. But I'd say I'd give the series to ST just off stats alone.
Yeah, you're not biased at all right now.
Yeah, I'm not biased at all.
Yeah.
And the other matchup that I'm really, really excited for is Shu. Shu is he posts on a forum. I post on Off Topic, and he's a really cool guy. He's kind of unknown. He's been beating some good guys. He's been around since beta, and I think he was, if my memory serves, he was a practice partner for Team Evil Geniuses during beta, and one of the better matches that were being released by Team EG had Shu Team EG members. Shu's a really good player. He beat Greetorp and This Is Jimmy just to get to face MVP, and I really feel again, you're facing a top guy like MVP.
He's playing the best player in the world. I mean,
yeah, he's playing the best player in the world, and he's a little to no name player unless you know of him and have seen him around. And he goes to as many MLGs as he can. He's in his first year of college in Indiana. I really think Shu. This match is going to really help Shu's exposure. I have a feeling possibly MLG will. I'm praying MLG will air this match because I want Shu to get exposure. I want him to be making lots of money. He takes the game seriously. That's the match I'm looking forward to the most tomorrow, outside of the clear, obvious ones of some of the bigger names facing another bigger name. But that's the underdog versus the favorite, and I'm really looking forward to. I really want to see how well Shu does against MVP,
right,
and it doesn't matter if you win or lose.
You said Chilo versus Benicio.
Yeah.
Was one of them. Yeah, I think that will be actually a pretty interesting matchup to watch. Both players, I'll keep it quick, are super popular within the community. You have Chilo, who's been playing forever, came from a brutal background, lived in Korea and now is in the Swedish pro gaming house. And then you have Benicio, actually opposite, kind of this kid who randomly got discovered while streaming. Both are really popular. Both have really big followings, and they're both known for their really unconventional play styles. So with these two, really anything can go. Neither player is known for a standard or as cheese. It's just straight up whatever they feel like it. I mean, Tilo invented the 7-Rex Rush. Either of them, Tilo or Benicio, invented his defensive queen, defensive Zerg style. Both of them are just really known for really unconventional things. I think that you can see a lot of potential for something kind of quirky. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't actually know. TLO's been playing a lot of Zerg, and he's rumored to be playing both races.
He was playing Zerg earlier, and then a couple, a matchup later, I think, this is weird. And then someone explained he's actually been experimenting playing two different races.
I'm not sure if he's race picking against certain races or what, but I have to look into that more. I know,
he played Masters for the longest time. He didn't really pick a race until the NASL Season 1, where they made him pick one race for the season. That's where he kind of stuck with Terran. So I don't think that, up until then, he was always rolling as Master or as random. So I think it's really just he's good at all three.
Well, he actually said that he doesn't like playing Protoss, so he's not going to be playing Protoss, but he is potentially going to race pick between Terran and Zerg. So we'll have to watch that as the tournament goes on and see kind of what he plays against different matchups. I'm definitely going to watch Gator tomorrow, as we mentioned. He's playing Linux, so that's going to be a tough matchup there. And SC versus Lucira this early in the tournament is absolutely unbelievable. That's a matchup you expect to see in the GSO finals, not in winners round 5 of the open bracketed MLG. So that's kind of incredible. So this will be some great games just to start the event tomorrow, and that's before we even get anywhere near the winners bracket. So should be good. Let's talk a little about some of the interviews you guys did today. Anything really stick out with some of the interviews you guys did? Anything interesting?
You guys did interviews in the press room, so I don't know what you guys got.
I don't know. Ted and I were kind of tag teaming off. So I know that I did machine and Milky's and Cody Connors, and then Ted did Zara, as well as Keen. I don't know if he did any others. I'm not sure, but I guess I did. I am actually writing a blog this weekend, so if you check it out, I kind of touch on it in my second post of today. But I really like kind of the background stories of people behind the scenes. So I think I had really good chats with Cody and Kelly about career and kind of like advice for the kind of person who went in esports. You know, it's kind of a hot thing right now. I mean, how many times did you see on Reddit, like, I want a career in esports? So just kind of like really down-to-earth advice from people who've made it, kind of struggled that they've gone through. Kelly talks some issues about females in gaming and just kind of like real people in the scene that you don't necessarily hear a lot about. So, well, I mean, Kelly, we do, but I mean, how often do you hear about like Cody's advice on careers in esports? So, kind of cool.
On the floor, I got to talk to guys like fans and some of the pros and personalities. I got to talk to Hopbit earlier today. That was really cool. It was the first time I ever met him. Mostly I was just getting their thoughts and feelings about what we were talking about earlier, of like this being the national finals, the end of the year, how the past year has been for us, Rep 2 specifically. Pro actually said his favorite event was I think Columbus was his one of his favorite events, and he also felt that Dallas was like the best event, even though no one watched. Or Faber didn't say that. Hoppe did. Hoppe said that Dallas was the best event. I'm trying to like remember someone which at like 3 a.m. in the morning right now. One of those two from Team Liquid said that they felt Dallas was the best event. It wasn't just because the stream had issues or whatever. It was because it was the genesis of StarCraft 2 and MLG. And you can see how much it's grown in the past couple of months.
All right. So I think that's going to about do it because it's midnight here, so it is 3 a.m. for you guys. We need to get to bed.
Yeah.
I got an early morning. I got to stream start at 8:30 in the morning for me. You guys got to get up and get to the venue. Any last thoughts from you guys?
Just follow us on Twitter and check out what we're doing. ESFI is producing a ton of content this weekend, like a ton. So we'd really appreciate it if you checked it out. Hopefully you're watching this and appreciate what we have to say for you and God hours of the evening.
Yeah, just keep please vote our videos on Reddit. Check out our blogs, our posts and threads on. I think we're on Well Played and Team Liquid as well as the site ESFIworld.com. I'm going to be doing a lot of the video production, so if you're watching this and you're at MLG Providence and you want to get on camera and be part of our YouTube series, please definitely hit us up. I'm at the Eric Chance, or I'm going to be around, so probably find me. So yeah, please, just if you're a fan of esports, help support the show and help support MLG and the players, because those guys definitely deserve more props than you can ask for.
All right, absolutely. So as you guys said, follow us on Twitter, ESFI. You can see all information on the overlay there. So that's going to do it for us. We'll do this again tomorrow. Catch us out. Hopefully it's a little earlier because the event should end a little faster.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for us. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Good night, guys.